I getting released tonight, or am I staying?
I set a bond of $1,000. You can post the bond and you would be released. It's a secured appearance bond, so you could go through a bonding company.
Okay, all right.
All right, step right over there, sir. Miss Ray will be followed by Michelle Rosso. Please tell me your name.
Haley Ray, 2296.
Thank you. You're charged with possession of dangerous drugs, class 4 felony, and possession of drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony. This is a warrant from the Superior Court. The public defender has been appointed to represent you. The bond was set when the warrant was issued at $500. I've affirmed the $500 secured appearance bond. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate any contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription. You're not to drive without a valid driver's license, and you continue to reside at an address to provide the court. Your next court date will be a post-warrant status conference on May the 20th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, let's step right over there. Ms. Rosso will be followed by Derek Gray. Please tell me your name.
Michelle Rosso.
And your date of birth.
7870.
Thank you, ma'am. You're charged with 2 cases. Number 11 on the calendar is a probation violation for class 4 felony. The public defender has been appointed to represent you. The judge set a secured appearance bond in that case of $5,000. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate any contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription. You're not to drive without a valid driver's license. You're to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. And you're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date on this case is a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on May the 19th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Number 12 on the calendar is another probation violation for class 4 felony. On that case, the judge also set a bond in the amount of $5,000. The release conditions are exactly the same as is your court date of May the 19th at 8:30. Do you have any questions, ma'am?
No.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Gray will be followed by Lizette Keo. Sir, please tell me your name and date of birth.
Derek Gray, 9/27/91.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you're here on a new case of charging you with resisting arrest, class 6 felony, criminal damage, and disorderly conduct, both class 1 misdemeanors. The court has found probable cause as to those charges. The court has found you to be indigent and appointed the public defender to represent you. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $2,500. If you post the bond, you're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You're not to have any contact with any victim or witness. You're not to initiate any contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to reside at an address you provide the court. Your next court date on this case is a status conference on May the 16th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on May the 20th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. Ms. Creo, we followed by Kevin Wilkins. Ma'am, please step up to the podium and tell me your name and date of birth.
Lizette Amanda Urquijo.
And your date of birth?
October 23rd, 1990.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You're here on a warrant charging you with probation violation out of the Pinal County Superior Court. The judge, when they issued the warrant, made this a non-bondable warrant. So you're going to be held in custody without bond for violating the probation. If you are released at some point, which is unlikely before your next court date, but you're not to initiate any contact with any arresting officers, you're not to possess any weapons, you're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address, and you must contact the probation department within 72 hours of your release. Your next court date is an arraignment hearing on May the 14th at 8:30 in the Pinal County Superior Court. Do you have any questions, ma'am?
No.
Thank you, Mr. President. All right, Mr. Wilkins will be followed by Colin Tom. Wilkins. Kevin. Kevin. Go. Judge is calling up. Go. Take your head out. Yeah, take your head out.
On 1963.
All right, sir, you're charged with possessing a weapon by a prohibited possessor. It's a class 4 felony. The court has found probable causes to that count. The court has found you to be indigent and has appointed the public defender to represent you. The bond in your case is set as a secured appearance bond in the amount of $3,600.
I don't got no money. I don't got no money, Your Honor.
Okay. Then you would be held in custody.
No money, no, Your Honor. I come to court all the time.
Sir, I've looked, you've got an extensive criminal history. The county attorney recommended a bond significantly higher than what it's set. Your bond is $3,600. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription.
I'm stuck in here.
Okay.
I'm stuck in here.
Okay. Your next court date is May the 16th at 8:30.
I can't go nowhere.
With a possible preliminary hearing on May the 20th at 8:30.
How is it on me? I'm still here.
Okay. Well, then you'll stay in custody if you don't post the bond. But those.
I don't have no money, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, those are your release conditions, sir. I've set your release conditions. The officer will give you the paperwork with your court date on it.
No, I need to go home, though, Your Honor. I can't live like this.
Sir, I've set the release conditions.
Oh, I was just dying, man. I got HIV for 40 years.
Okay, sir, step back to where you were sitting before.
Take your hat off. What do you mean?
Take your hat off. Colin Tom will be followed by Danielle Milan. Sir, please tell me your name and date of birth.
Colin Tom, October 3rd, 2003.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you're here on 2 warrants, looks like from justice courts. The first one looks like for an excessive speeding. At this point, I have found you to be indigent. I've appointed the public defender only because the judge is asking that a bond be set. The bond in your case is set in the amount of $250. It's a secured appearance bond. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date on this is an arraignment hearing on May the 14th at 8:30 in the I can never pronounce that word. Havasapa Justice Court. So May 14th is a court date on that case. Your other case is another warrant from Justice Court on a different case with the same Justice Court. Bond on that case is in the amount of $400. The release conditions are the same. Your arraignment is May the 14th at 8:30. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir.
All right. You can step over, please. All right. Danielle, if you could step up to the podium, please. She'll be followed by Darwin Smith. Ma'am, tell me your name, please.
Danielle Leon, 12-12-87.
Thank you, ma'am. You're here charged with aggravated assault, class 6 felony. At this point, I found probable cause. I've also found you to be indigent and appointed the public defender. I'm going to release you to pretrial services, which means you just need to keep in contact with them and follow their directions. At this point, I have to make it a release condition. You have no physical contact with the alleged victim. I know the alleged victim is your daughter. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if CPS is going to get involved or not. But you're not to initiate any contact with any arresting officers. No drugs without a valid prescription. No driving without a valid driver's license. Continue to provide court proof for your local address. You must submit to DNA testing and fingerprinting. Your next court date will be a status conference on May the 23rd at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on May the 29th. But the court date you need to worry about is May the 23rd. And you must contact pretrial services when you get out. The officer will hand you some paperwork, amongst which will be an envelope with information about how to contact pretrial services. Make sure you do that.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Am I able to go home where my daughter is?
I did not make it a condition that you can return to the scene. I don't know if I know your mother. I don't know if your mother lives locally. She's mentioned in the Form 4.
She's the one who called.
I don't know who called, but she's mentioned in the Form 4.
Okay.
So at this point, you can't return the alleged crime, but you're not supposed to have any contact with the alleged victim at this point.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Step right over there. Mr. Smith will be followed by Volanta Galloway. Good evening, sir. Tell me your name and date of birth.
Darwin Smith, September 15th, 1975.
All right, sir, you're here on a child support arrest warrant. The judge, when he issued the arrest warrant, said a purge, which is like a bond, but it's a cash purge in the amount of $500. You can't get out unless you post that purge. You will have a hearing in the family court on May the 16th at 10 a.m. To determine whether or not you should continue to be held on that. You have a review hearing every so often when there's a purge amount. I think you've been through this before. You're not entitled to an attorney because this is a child support enforcement. Do you have any questions, sir? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, God.
Ms. Galloway will be followed by Andres Hernandez. Please tell me your name and date of birth.
Volanta Galloway, 10/11/86.
All right, thank you. Ma'am, you've been charged with aggravated assault, class 5 felony, resisting arrest, a class 1 misdemeanor, and refusing to give a true name, a class 2 misdemeanor. I have found probable cause as to those counts. I have found you to be indigent and appointed the public defender to represent you. I am going to release you to pretrial services. You will not have to post a bond, but you will need to contact them and follow their directions. They'll help you make your court dates and follow up with you. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. You're not to initiate any contact with any alleged victim or witness. You're not to initiate any contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address, and you must submit to DNA testing for law enforcement identification purposes. Your next court date on this case will be a status conference on May the 23rd at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on May the 29th. It's very important you contact pretrial services when you get out. The envelope will have directions on how to do that, and you make your court date on May 23rd.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, step right over there, man. All right, Andres Hernandez. Sir, please tell me your name
Andres Guerrero Hernandez,
and your date of birth, sir.
11/13/60.
All right, sir, you're here charged with possession of dangerous drugs, class 4 felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony. I have found probable cause on those charges. I have found you to be indigent and appointed the public defender to represent you.
Okay.
On this case, you're going to be released on your own recognizance. You're not to initiate any contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date is a status conference on May the 23rd at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on May the 29th at 8:30. But the court date you need to worry about is May the 23rd.
Okay.
That's in the Downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, but I would like to apologize for mounting up. I have a lot of problems with one thing after another. I got this diarrhea with this rash, and man, I'm sorry. I'd like to apologize.
Oh, that's fine, sir. You're going to be released. Just make sure you make your court date. So I'll serve you some paperwork.
Okay.
All right. Looks like the last case is a house call on Mr. McClevin. On that case, the court's inclination is to release him on his own recognizance. If the court changes its decision after meeting with the defendant, the court will come back on the record and note the changes. That will end the 8 o'clock calendar. Court will be in recess until the 11 p.m. calendar.